1, 2, 3, 4. What's up, everybody? Matt Hines here with Rockstar Guitar Lessons. So I thought I'd tell you about 6 scales you need to know to play 95% of the tunes out there. So I'm talking about if you want to be in a band and you want to go out and play, or if you want to write your own songs, you know, and you're kind of focusing on blues, rock, funk, country, pop, maybe indie music, metal even. So this will cover all this stuff. There's some other scales that are, you know, in jazz and classical music, which we might cover at some point. But for now, let's cover the 6 important scales that I think you need to know. So first off, let's start right from the beginning. Pentatonics. People like to start with the pentatonics. They're great for guitar. They're really soulful. It's an easy scale to learn. It's only 5 notes. The minor pentatonic. You must know your minor pentatonic and your major pentatonic. So you want to learn these patterns. There's 5 boxes across the neck, or 5 chunks to learn the whole fretboard. Try to learn all 5 if you can. Now there's different sounds to them, so you want to learn lines and licks. I would suggest listening to like blues players and blues rock players to kind of get some of the lines. You know, where people will kind of blend the line between major and minor and stuff. So kind of work on that. Learn how to blend the major third. In general, you want to learn the major pentatonic and the minor pentatonic, okay? And the major one you use over major chords and major keys. The minor one you'll use over minor chords and minor keys. Now let's go on to more of the 7-note scales, the diatonic scale. So major scale, okay? So the major scale works over the 1 chord if you're in a major key, okay? If you don't know if it's the 1 chord, so say if it's like G major, C major, D major, right? And they're all major, and you're trying to play the chord changes. Well, if it's in the key of G, you could play G major over all 3 of those chords. But if you want to outline the other chords and you're not sure which mode or which scale to use, just play pentatonic. So play C major pentatonic, D major pentatonic, and then G major pentatonic, or the G major scale, okay, over the G chord. You can play G major over all of it too, you know, or G major pentatonic, but if you want to outline the chords, do that. This will kind of start helping you get into playing chord changes. So play pentatonics if you don't know which mode to use, okay? It'll help you get through it. So then the next one is going to be the Dorian scale. This is the 2nd mode of the major scale. This one works over minor chords. Any minor chord that you need the sound of the major 6th. So like if we're in A and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that note right there, 7, flat 7, 1. I've already covered this in my other video. Look up the one on minor keys and which minor key or which minor scale to use. Because this is the only note that's different between the natural minor scale. The natural minor scale is a flat 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that sound. So there's a certain sound. If you play it enough, you can kind of almost hear the sound when you're soloing and stuff like that. But if not, you can learn how to analyze your chords and figure out what key you're in and figure out whether or not you're in Dorian or you're in natural minor. So the next scale, that leads right into the next one, is natural minor, the minor scale. Learn the minor scale. The Dorian and the minor scale both work over minor chords. You just got to know which key or which mode you're in. Now, the next one is going to be your Mixolydian Scale. The Mixolydian Scale works over dominant seventh chords. So like A7, if you just see 7 right next to a chord, A7. So the dominant scale is just a major scale with a flat 7. So those are the 6 most popular scales that I use when I play all the, with all the different groups I play in. I have to learn a lot of different styles of music quick, and I have to be able to be on the fly. Sometimes people throw songs at me at a gig where I don't even know what song I'm going to play, and I have to figure out what key we're in, and maybe even play the chord changes of the song, and without maybe getting through only one verse in a chorus, and then it's like time to go. So, in order to get through a lot of this stuff, you just got to master these scales, and I think this will get you through most of it. Occasionally, there's a few times where you might need to use like if there's a diminished chord, you might need to play like a diminished arpeggio. There's some other modes of some other scales, like the altered scale, or like maybe using harmonic minor and spots like that. Some other tricks with a diminished scale you can do over a dominant chord. There's Lydian dominant, that's another mode. So those are all ones that kind of cover like a further lesson, which would be over more sounds that you would hear in jazz and things like that, some classical stuff. Now they're cool tricks to throw in at gigs, but usually the types of gigs I'm talking about, those things are used really sparingly. So if I do use, the diminished scale or an altered scale or a harmonic minor scale or a whole tone, it's usually only for a brief second to just add some color. And then the rest of the time I'm using the other 6 scales. So those are going to get you through everything. You want to learn how to play a lot of licks that sound really good and have good phrases within these scales. So listen to a lot of recordings, learn solos, dissect them, figure out what scale you're in, and this is going to get a lot of stuff covered. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Work on these scales. It's really going to help you out. If you got more questions, please put some comments down below. I'd be happy to help. If you'd like to sign up for lessons, click the links. Otherwise, I'm Matt Hines. I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.